From the moment we are born, we're taught a powerful narrative. Family is everything. We're conditioned to believe that no matter what, we must remain loyal, forgive endlessly, and endure the unacceptable. While love, loyalty, and connection are beautiful ideals, Carl Jung, one of the most influential minds in psychology, warned us of the hidden dangers lurking behind blind familial devotion. He didn't promote rebellion for the sake of ego or division. Instead, Jung illuminated a deeper truth. If love causes you to lose yourself, it isn't love, it's control. In this video, we'll dive into Jung's profound insights and uncover the 5 toxic behaviors you should never tolerate, even from those closest to you. Family bonds are sacred, but so is your well-being. You are not here to play roles that others assign you. You are here to become whole. 1. Emotional manipulation, love with conditions. It often begins subtly. A parent says, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this." A sibling accuses, "You're hurting me by living your own life." At first glance, these seem like expressions of love or concern. But beneath the surface lies a deeply manipulative dynamic. Carl Jung called this psychic possession, when one person's unconscious pain takes root in another's mind and governs their actions. You may be turned into the family therapist, the emotional caretaker, the fixer, or the scapegoat. But these roles are not yours to carry. They are often inherited burdens, passed down generationally, like heirlooms made of guilt, fear, and unspoken trauma. The problem? You begin to question yourself. You silence your own needs. You suppress your desires to keep the peace. But peace bought with self-betrayal is not peace. It's a prison. Jung believed that healing begins the moment we become conscious of what we've unconsciously accepted. Recognizing emotional manipulation doesn't mean you hate your family. It simply means you stop enabling the cycle. And once you see it clearly, you cannot unsee it. 2. Suppression of the true self, the death of authenticity. You're too loud. Don't talk like that. Why are you always so different? You're embarrassing us. Sometimes the greatest rejection doesn't come from society. It comes from the people who raised us. Carl Jung introduced the concept of individuation, the journey each human must take to become whole, authentic, and truly themselves. But this sacred journey is often obstructed, not by enemies, but by tradition, culture, religion, and family expectations. The very people who are supposed to love you unconditionally may instead attempt to reshape you into a version that fits their comfort zones. Why? Because your freedom reminds them of their own fear. Your authenticity becomes a mirror they'd rather turn away from. When you choose a different path, be it in love, career, beliefs, or lifestyle, it threatens the status quo they cling to. But here's the truth. You were not born to fulfill someone else's script. You are not a mirror for another's comfort. You were born to become whole. Anyone who demands you shrink or conform in order to be accepted isn't truly seeing you. They're seeing a projection of what they wish you were. 3. Constant criticism disguised as concern. It's for your own good. You're too sensitive. I just don't want you to make a mistake. Sound familiar? What appears as honest advice or tough love is often nothing more than cruelty cloaked in concern. These words cut deep, leaving scars that look like logic. Carl Jung would point us toward the shadow, the dark unconscious aspects of the self that we reject and project onto others. When a family member constantly criticizes you, what they may really be doing is battling their own unhealed wounds. Their judgments, "You'll never make it," "You're not strong enough," are often the echoes of their own failures or limitations. Instead of owning their pain, they transfer it to you. And the more you hear it, the more you believe it. You start to doubt your dreams, question your strength, and eventually you call their voice truth. Jung reminded us that projection is one of the greatest barriers to self-awareness. Everything that irritates us about others has the potential to teach us about ourselves. But when that irritation turns to repeated criticism, it becomes a weapon of control. You are not obligated to accept it. You can love someone deeply and still reject the roles they try to impose on you. Roles like the failure, the disappointment, the one who's never enough. 4. Guilt as a tool of control. You never call me after everything I've done for you. If you leave, it'll break my heart. You're so ungrateful. This is not love. This is guilt masquerading as affection. And guilt is one of the most effective and damaging tools of control. Jung understood the immense weight of guilt, especially when it comes from parents or elders. It feels like betrayal to say no. It feels like abandonment to create distance. But guilt is not morality. Guilt is not love. When someone uses guilt to control your decisions, they are asking you to abandon your truth in order to comfort them. They want you to make yourself small so they can feel big. And the cost is enormous. You begin to hesitate before each choice. You wonder, will this make them upset? Instead of, is this right for me? Over time, you lose your sense of self. You begin living a life curated for someone else's expectations. You become a ghost of your own desires. Breaking this pattern doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you awake. Real love says, I want you to be free, even if it's uncomfortable for me. Guilt, on the other hand, says, stay small so I don't have to face my fears. The ones who guilt you into self-abandonment may never change, but you can. 5. Verbal and emotional abuse, normalized as personality. They didn't mean it. It's just how they are. That's just their personality. How many times have you heard this? How many times have you said it to yourself? Jung emphasized that what we normalize in childhood becomes what we accept in adulthood. And what's familiar often feels like love, even when it's abuse. When someone regularly insults, belittles, gaslights, or dismisses you, it's not tough love or family drama. It's emotional abuse. Even if there are no bruises, words can leave deeper wounds. If they cross your emotional boundaries and expect forgiveness without change, they're not loving you. They're controlling you. Jung often spoke about the wounded inner child, the part of us that continues to seek love in the very places we first felt pain. We return to toxic patterns not because we're weak, but because we were never shown what healthy love looks like. The longer you stay in these cycles, the more likely you are to believe this is what love is. But Jung would tell you otherwise. He'd say the bravest act isn't enduring more pain, it's breaking the pattern. To say, I see what this is. I will not inherit this pain. I will not pass it on. Even if it's family. Even if they never understand. Even if they call you selfish. Because your peace is not a betrayal. It's a beginning. The path forward. Jung's call to inner freedom. Carl Jung once said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. But that's also where true healing begins, not in fixing others, not in waiting for apologies that may never come, but in choosing to honor your worth. You deserve love that uplifts, not manipulates. You deserve space to grow, not guilt to shrink. You deserve to be seen clearly, not through the fog of someone else's unresolved pain. It's time to stop shrinking, to stop explaining, to stop tolerating the intolerable. You are not selfish for setting boundaries. You are not cruel for walking away. You are not broken for wanting peace. You were never meant to live in someone else's shadow. You were meant to become whole. Carl Jung warns you. Carl Jung's work continues to shine a light on the hidden dynamics that govern our lives, especially within families. His teachings call us to reclaim our authenticity, to examine the inherited roles we unconsciously play, and to bravely choose ourselves. This doesn't mean cutting off everyone you love. It means seeing clearly. And once you see clearly, you can never unsee. You begin to make conscious choices. You begin to speak your truth. And that, Jung would say, is where the real journey begins. Not toward rebellion, but toward liberation. So if you've tolerated manipulation, suppression, criticism, guilt, or abuse, know that you're not alone. But also know this: you have the right to stop. You have the right to grow. You have the right to become whole. Even if it means disappointing the ones who can't, or won't, see the real you. Because love, respect, and peace are not negotiable. Not anymore.